Iran's nuclear advancements have reached alarming levels, raising fears that the country is on the verge of acquiring nuclear weapons capability. Reports from Reuters and the Wall Street Journal indicate that Iran now possesses approximately 275 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, which, if further refined, could be used for multiple nuclear warheads. A recent classified UN report further reveals that Iran's stockpile has increased by 50% in just 15 weeks, reinforcing concerns that Tehran could produce at least 6 nuclear weapons within months. Despite Iran's claims that its nuclear activities are peaceful, its restricted cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, fuels skepticism among Western nations. Iran's nuclear history is marked by secrecy and strategic maneuvering. From 1999 to 2003, intelligence reports suggest that Iran operated a covert nuclear weapons program, later agreeing to restrictions under the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. However, the U.S. withdrawal from the deal in 2018 led Iran to systematically violate its commitments by accelerating uranium enrichment and reducing transparency with the IAEA. With advanced centrifuges now in operation, experts warn that Iran has the technical expertise to weaponize its nuclear program rapidly. The Atlantic Council estimates that Iran could produce a nuclear warhead within 3 to 6 months if it chooses to do so. The collapse of the JCPOA has intensified diplomatic tensions, with the U.S. and European powers demanding a stricter deal, including limits on Iran's missile program and regional influence. However, Tehran remains firm, insisting on full sanctions relief before considering new negotiations. China and Russia oppose additional sanctions, advocating for diplomatic dialogue instead. Meanwhile, Iran's internal political landscape has shifted toward hardliners, diminishing hopes for diplomatic compromises. The resignation of former Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif and the impeachment of Finance Minister Abdel-Nasser Hemati's signal a move away from engagement with the West. The economic impact of nuclear-related sanctions has been severe, with Iran facing inflation, currency devaluation, and declining oil exports. Nevertheless, Tehran has managed to bypass some restrictions by strengthening economic ties with China and engaging in clandestine oil trade. A Bloomberg report highlights that Iran's trade with China has increased significantly, providing a financial lifeline that sustains its nuclear program. Despite economic hardships, Iranian leaders argue that their nuclear advancements give them leverage in negotiations, making them less inclined to yield to Western pressure. As tensions escalate, military confrontations loom. The U.S. has increased its military presence in the Middle East, and Israel has intensified covert operations targeting Iranian nuclear sites. Israeli intelligence is closely monitoring Iran's nuclear facilities, with some officials advocating for preemptive military strikes. Iran has warned of severe retaliation if its nuclear infrastructure is attacked, raising fears of a broader regional conflict. Neighboring countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE worry that a nuclear-capable Iran could trigger an arms race, while the UN Security Council remains divided on how to address the crisis. With diplomacy at a standstill and military threats growing, the world faces a critical moment in determining how to contain Iran's nuclear ambitions.